All right, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hunt Fixed. Mike is holding the camera. I'm going to give us our breakdown, sponsored by Grow Chiropractic. um, Before I go to Alberta, Canada, we're going outside Jasper National Park. Temperatures are going to be 20s to 40s, snow, rain. We're going peak of the moose rut, which I've never done before. It's archery only. We also have black bear tags, and if we see a wolf, we can shoot those with rifles. So it should be a smorgasbord of goodness. Also a little river fishing while we're there. So we've been planning this for a long time. This is what I really want to get in all these backpack hiking workouts with, and Mike loves punishment as well, and just our love for outdoor backcountry hiking has made us really take this thing going, and we're going really well with it so far. So this is our first pack dump. Mike's gonna chime in when I forget all the names, and he has all the specs and the smart person details on this stuff. And
nerd.
We're just gonna get going. So because it is a bow hunt, I have had this Sitka bow quiver forever. It's good, it's durable. The padding on the cams is really good. It's got a sight cover here, and then it's got a protector for your fletchings as well, which I really like. But it's just a durable, good bow quiver. Nothing crazy. The pack we're gonna use, as you saw in our hunting backpack comparison video. I'm really a big fan of this K4. My brother-in-law is taking my previously owned Stone Glacier 7900, but I'm going to go with the K4. This is the 7200 with the lid. I've loved how it's packed. I love the small features of it. If you want to know more thoughts on it, you can go watch that video, but we've had an absolute phenomenal experience with these K4 backpacks. So I'm taking this thing and we're going to pack it down. Moving on to clothing. As you can tell, this is our first pack dump because it's not organized. But this is my Ponsegant Archery elk from a few years back. So I figured he'd bring us good luck. So, down booties. These are made by Outdoors. Sun Dick is the name. I didn't come up with it. It's just what it is. They were like $6 at the time. I told my brother-in-law to go look at them because I only keep these in my sleeping bag, which is a 10-degree Western mountaineering bag that I absolutely love. But I only put them in there. Obviously, they're going to rip and tear, so they're just to keep my feet warm when I sleep. I get cold hands, cold feet. So these have been phenomenal. They weigh nothing. They pack down next to nothing. And I just keep them in the bottom of my sleeping bag. So those have been great to have. Okay, underwear. The undies. I'm bringing 3 pairs. Might be a little much for some, not enough for others. I'm a sweater, and the SWAS is real, and it creates chafing. Anyway, so I've just had these merino wool boxer briefs. I might only bring 2, but for sure at least 2, maybe 3. For my gloves, I have these Kuiu glommets. I like to have the dexterity of this index finger. It is quite interesting though. If you really need a super warm, cold weather glove, I would get all 4, just a full mitt, because this finger gets colder than these ones. So that warmth does create, or the circumference of all the fingers adds up really quick. So having that one index finger out there, it gets you a little bit, but it's waterproof, very warm. And then I layer that with these sealskin merino gloves. They're waterproof. So I plan to carry my bow with this, and then when we stop in glass or whatever, put the glommets on. But these have been a really nice addition. I had the Sitka Stormfront glove, a GTX glove, and I beat that thing up pretty good. So I figured I'd try something a little bit warmer. So that's the glove situation there. The pant that I'm hoping to hunt with primarily is this Fjällräven Keb trouser. I put some of this otter wax on there, and it makes this fabric waterproof. If you do a little bit, they say it makes it pretty water repellent, and the more you put on, the more waterproof it gets. So I layered that up, poured a bottle of water on top of it, and it didn't absorb at all. It just beat it up and left. So I like these more than the other pair of pants I'm bringing, just because they're more versatile pant with the hip zips, how flexible they are, how mobile they are. So I'm hoping I can wear these. But if not, my second pair of pants are going to be the M7 pants, which I should have had ready. So I'm trying the whole M7 kit. I'm bringing that for my jacket, and this is the M7 pants. The only real drawback to this, because you do have the hip zips, The only real drawback is it's not breathable, it's waterproof, but it just doesn't have as much flex in it. So it's a little more restrictive than the Keb pant, but the fact that it's fully waterproof and we are supposed to be getting quite a bit of rain, quite a bit of snow, very cold temperatures, I'd rather just try and stay dry. So the M7 pants coming with me and the Kebs, and I have a phenomenal $20 Carhartt beanie. I love this thing because it's 20 bucks. And then also it has a face shield on it, a neoprene face shield. So it helps keep from the nose down warm. And it covers my ears. I've got some cauliflower from wrestling, so my ears kind of start to poke out a little bit. So I like the ear flaps on them. But it's just a great, inexpensive beanie.
It's a Cow Ranch special.
You bet it is. It's for the people. So my outer layer, this is the Sitka Kelvin. It's a beastly.
That's the original Kelvin too, right?
This is the OG. Yes, this is.
It's a beast.
This is a 2XL. I just figure if I'm in a bad way, I want to put this thing over all my layers, so I got it big. I was also 220 pounds then, so 20 pounds lighter. So it drowns me pretty good, but super, super warm. Obviously, it's down. It gets nicks. Not ideal for really much more than just sitting, glassing, sitting in camp. But when things get bad, I put this guy on. And then for the bottoms, I have the Kafaru puffy bottoms. I really like these. They weigh more. They're not as packable as like your Kuiu down, the Sitka down, that stuff. But I love that I don't have to worry about ripping holes in the puffy on the seat and on the knee pad. It has these Cordura layers. So the rest of it, yes, you can catch and snag, but just for sitting, glassing, kneeling down, I don't worry as much about nicking the fabric. And so I like that quite a bit. It's obviously a little more waterproof as well than just your standard down with the Cordura.
Way more durable and synthetic insulation too, right?
Synthetic, yeah. So it does pretty dang good. So the drawback, obviously, with all synthetic, it's not as packable, a little heavier. But when it comes to the puffy stuff, I don't like having to sit on eggshells and all that. So this is the Kafaru puffy pant. If I do sit down though, I have my Thermarest that I've had forever. Glassing pad. I love this thing. I usually just keep it tucked under my the bottom of my backpack, and then when I sit down to glass, if I'm not too lazy, I'll pull this out and sit on this. But when it's cold, I'm trying to keep my butt warm, I'll put that there. So this year I'm trying the M7 jacket. I switched out of the Sitka Jetstream jacket because this thing's fully waterproof, and it actually weighs less than the Jetstream jacket. And before, you'd have to carry your rain cover jacket, and then you have your lesser layer underneath that in case, like the Jetstream, I could get probably a solid day of rain, maybe a day and a half before it's too saturated. But so I was still carrying around twice the weight. So I just figured we'll go 2 for 1. And this thing has so far to me felt pretty much just as warm as the Jetstream, maybe not as warm, but pretty dang close. It's fleece lined. It is a little louder than the Jetstream, but again, it's fully waterproof. And Mike has the specs on that. A very, very impressive waterproof rating.
Yeah, it beats most of them out. I want to say it's 33,000 nanometers is the rating, and most of your rain gear is around like 20,000. Yeah. So
I'm really excited to give this thing a try. It is cut long, but it is cut slender, so it's not super big and baggy.
But it'll cover your butt, so you can sit down.
Cover your butt, yeah.
And I want to say you're 6 ounces lighter.
Yeah.
Taking that versus the Jetstream, and it's
and the M7, so I'm saving 3 pounds by not having to bring all that with me, and it's a twofer. So I'm excited for that option. I've loved this Sitka heavyweight hoodie. I've had this thing for years. I absolutely think this is one of my favorite pieces of gear from Sitka.
I think it's the best they make.
I love
and
this
I think it's better than all the other.
The merino cuts.
Yeah, in that class from all their brands.
I love this thing. It's durable. It's fleece lined. It's warm. It's got a face shield, which I love to use to keep my face either from getting sunburned, because I've had some skin cancer issues, so I try and keep my face covered at all times, and then also just keeping a little bit of warmth inside. I've just loved this thing. It's really freaking durable, and I've had this for years. So this is the hoodie, heavyweight hoodie, and then usually my standard layering for cold weather is I'm going to have a base layer, something really thin. I have the Sitka lightweight hoodie that also has the face shield on it, and then I'll put this over the top if I'm cold, And then if I'm really cold and it's not raining, this is the Sitka Kelvin Active jacket that I really like, especially because for archery, it has very tapered in sleeves. And it's really, really warm and very packable. So this is the same thing I brought to Alaska the first time, so 6 years ago. Same layering system, except for the jet. Instead of the M7, I had the Jetstream, but then I had to bring the rain gear as well. So that's the only transition or switch that I've made. But this thing for me, and temperatures down to single digits, I've been perfectly warm, and you just peel them as you need and as you go. A new thing for me this year are the Kuiu Gators. What are the Yukons?
Yep.
Kuiu Yukon Gators. I had the Sitka Stormfront Gators for the first few years, and I really liked them. They just kind of started to lose their repellency, got a lot of holes in them, but I never had any breaking on the buckles down here with it, and I've put tons and tons of miles on them, and so I had no problems with the durability. I didn't love the cinch cord on it. At the top of the Sitka, it's just a drawstring cord, whereas this one has a buckle, so you can just cinch that down and tighten it, and so far it's stayed really well for me. They're definitely a little slimmer as well than my Sitka ones, but everyone had rave reviews about them. I was kind of going back and forth between these and the Stone Glacier ones, because I think Stone Glacier makes phenomenal products, but you just can't argue with the thousands of reviews on the Gators. So I've taken these on some test runs, as you can see. They've held up great. I'm excited to give them a try. And then for my base layer bottom, these are the Kuiu bottoms. They're the 120 lights. My legs don't usually get too cold, but I like the idea of these. Plus they're the zip off ones. So with the M7 pant, if I get too hot, I can not have to take off everything just to get my base layer off, which I've done in the past. It's just annoying. So I'm going to try these Kuiu lightweight bottoms. For the socks, I always bring one pair of sealskin socks. These things, you can literally walk a soaking wet boot completely dry. These sealskins, they're such a phenomenal, smart brand that's too smart for me to understand how this fabric works, but I've had to do it, and I swear by them. I'll never go on a wet hunt without sealskin socks. So I pack these, and then I'm going to bring a pair of Darn Tough full cushion socks, which feel like you're walking on clouds. And then just in case it gets really cold, these are an over the calf Darn Tough sock. It's a heavy sock. Again, with Gators, heavy base or heavy bottoms, I don't plan on getting super cold, so I might bring these, but I don't know. So I either have 2 or 3 pairs of socks. That's a last minute decision. So that sums up for the clothing. Mike, am I missing anything while I pack this stuff in there?
No, I don't think so. I think the only thing we didn't mention is the M7 is by Stone Glacier, so check it out.
Thank you.
Check out the line.
But as you guys can see, Mike and I, we just like good gear. We don't have to have matchy camo and patterns. It's just, we just want to have good gear. And all these companies make good gear. I think with clothing, the biggest difference is just the fit.
Yeah.
That's what got me away from like the Walmart camo, the cheaper stuff, is just the fit is better on these higher end camos, but you still have to, everyone has a different fit and everyone makes their cuts a little bit different. And so what fits great for you might not fit great for someone else. So just find a comfortable pant that does what you want to do.
Yeah, if you want to go matchy, there's nothing wrong with it. You can get a good system from one company. Yeah. But if you want the best system, each company makes a standout product. Yeah. And so you can piece them together that way, and it's a little bit better.
Yeah. So sleeping. So I'm going to try the Seek Outside Silex. So far, I've really liked this. This might be a little light for what I'm getting into. There's no stove jack with this, but I feel pretty confident tying this thing down with the trekking poles. So I'm going to bring this guy. My brother-in-law is bringing my Kafaru sawtooth. We're not bringing the stove on this one, but I figure worst case scenario, we can at least put like our gear under the Silex, and then I could sleep in the Kafaru sawtooth. I've taken the sawtooth to Alaska twice now. I've used it on tons of hunts. I love the product. Phenomenal piece of gear. And then I have a tieback tarp for the bottom. Thermarest Neo Air X Light to keep me nice and warm. There's my other glove. This thing I've had for years. I've never had a hole in it. It's done really well for me. My trekking poles for the tent. I've had these guys for a couple years. These are Black Diamond Alpine Carbons.
Yeah? Yes, correct.
Yeah, they've done well. No matter what I'm doing, I always have Luco tape and duct tape anchored to the trekking poles. But they've done really well, and we're going to keep hiking with them.
Best poles on the market, hands down.
Mike Matheson said it there. I really have liked them quite a bit. I've tried Black Diamonds, another type of Black Diamond. They worked well, but these have been quite a bit more durable. Okay, game bags. We are going to use tag bags. I think these are the lightest weight tag bags on the market. These are machine washable, as you can tell. You machine wash them, and they're just durable, but they're really good if you got to hang meat for a long time. You don't want bugs or flies, stuff like that, to get in your meat. These have been really good to do tag bags. Bring a fly net because we're by a river and I hate mosquitoes. Got that. I always pack an extra dry bag with me wherever I go because you never know what you're gonna need it for.
That's the KUIU ultralight bag, right?
It's a KUIU bag. So
yeah, it's a good bag.
Okay. And then my Nalgene, just your standard Nalgene. I will say, pro tip, Human Gear makes a small lid. This little convertible lid.
It's called the cap, right?
I don't know.
I think it's the cap.
You go on Amazon, type in Human Gear for an Nalgene. It just changes it from a wide mouth to a small mouth, so it's easier to drink out of.
It's legit.
It's really good. But I should mention also with the XO bag, what's super handy is that inside of it, it does have a dry bag that anchors to the bottom of your backpack. So as you go to get stuff out of your dry bag, the bag's gonna come with you. So it anchors down, so you don't have to yard sell your bag to get into your dry bag. So my sleeping bag and my puppy clothes always stay in a dry bag. But that's really the only thing I'm really worried about getting wet. So that's a very smart addition that they did. We'll save the food for there. So for water, Platypus, this is a gravity filter system. I've used this for years. It's tried and true. We replace the filters every now and then, but if they get clogged, you just use a syringe to clean them out and backfill them. So they call it backfill?
Backflush.
Backflush, thank you. But one thing I did learn in Alaska is that if you're in mucky water, that's what's going to kill those filters the fastest. So I just bring a really light towel with me, and so I'll have one Nalgene that I'll put over the. So I'll have this. I'll put it over top of the Nalgene, and with another Nalgene, I'll fill this thing up, and then I'll go and put that into the dirty water, because if you don't go the extra steps, you're going to have a lot of filter issues. So just take the extra step, try and filter out some of the bigger chunks of debris, and it'll save your filters quite a bit. And then before you go to bed each night, make sure you take those filters off and blow them out, because that water will freeze and then it cracks your filter and then you're in a bad way. And then, so if I'm going with like just myself or when Mike and I go, I usually will just bring a SteriPen. But if there's multiple guys at camp, we're gonna need a lot of water, then I'll bring this guy. It's 1.5 pounds for all of it. So it's not bad, but it's a little bulky. But I love me a SteriPen. This thing, cold water, it doesn't matter. It just turns on, it works. I can recharge it with my power bank, but I've never had to on 10 days. So I love carrying this thing with me, and I've had zero issues. This is the SteriPen Ultra. Yeah, Ultra. And I've had no problems with it. I really like that product.
You keep it in your sleeping bag at night too, right? When it's cold?
The SteriPen?
Yeah. Or is it in your gear?
That's actually a good point. So all my electronics, my binos have a rangefinder on them. So all my electronics, my power packs, my cell phone, my SteriPen, that stuff, I will keep either right inside my sleeping bag, or I'll just tuck it under my clothes, because usually I'll just put some clothes in a dry bag and I'll use that as a pillow, or I'll just scrunch up a jacket and I'll put this stuff in that jacket just to keep them warm. Because yeah, my first time in Alaska, I learned the hard way about batteries freezing and losing all their power. So this is the bino harness from KUIU. We did our bino harness review. Check it out if you want. So we've got, wind indicator, and then lighters, a little pen, some fire starter. But this might be the first and last time I ever used the bear spray attachment. No pistols in Canada, so bear spray.
Pretty lame.
Yeah, thanks Canada. So
Thanks Trudeau or whatever the crap his name is.
So I don't know what I'll do with this after this hunt. Usually I'm a pistol kind of guy, but that might not be possible. And then I got the rangefinder pouch from KUIU as well. And yeah, pretty straightforward. If you want more information on Mike and I's opinions on vinyl harnesses, check that out. So for the med kit, this is where I kind of geek out a little bit. Most people just say I have a med kit and I have possibles pouch, and I always kind of want to know what those little details are. So I'm going to go through those for you.
I would say most of the med kits won't do anything for you that most people pack. So
it might get some band-aids, stop a little bit of bleeding. That's probably about it. So I have ibuprofen 800s, throat lozenges, because if you get a cold, you're out there for numerous days, you get a cold, you got to do something about it. And it doesn't help if you're coughing or you can't breathe when you're walking. So throat lozenges, 2 packs of Dayquil, NyQuil. I have definitely had some colds or flu symptoms out hunting, but you don't want to go home. So Dayquil, NyQuil. These are Imodium, so if you have diarrhea, because you don't know what kind of water you're drinking, or if you filter all the way, some of the meals don't treat you right, you don't cook something enough, you got the runs, you're gonna run out of baby wipes real quick, and you're gonna have a rough day. So I bring some Imodium, sleeping pills, my second pack of those. These are called Zip Stitch. I love these things. They're very smart. I'm mostly a super glue guy for cuts, but if it's too big of a cut for super glue, you've got to do something to close that up after you get the bleeding under control. And these are just Band-Aids. If you want to zoom in here, Mike.
Yeah.
These are Band-Aids that you put over the cut, and then you literally pull these zip ties, and it will close your wound, which is slick.
They're similar to like a steri strip that you'd get when you get surgery, just way simpler. One shot.
Yeah, and as opposed to having to use butterfly stitches or whatever, these zip stitch things are awesome. So a little cool thing, obviously, check your doctor first. Clear Mike and I have anything here. But if you are really in a bad way, I'm not a big fan of Percocet, hydrocodone, those strong painkillers. They're addictive, they're hard on the stomach, hard on the body. So what I do is I will couple ibuprofen and Tylenol together. And that is just as strong, according to lots of research, as a high dose over medicated painkiller. So these things coupled together can get you out of a real bad way. So this is my painkiller kit here.
True story too.
It worked really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, ask your doctor, check your doctor first. This is Quick Clot. Especially, when we're bow hunting, you got broadheads fall out, they catch you, they nick you, you gotta stop the bleeding, right? Just emergency 101, you gotta stop the bleed. So Quick Clot, I have 2 of these in here. Kinesio tape, we need to make some more videos on how to use kinesio tape, but I will not hike without this stuff. I roll my ankle, I twist my knee, my shoulders flare up, I can't draw back the bow, my wrist hurts, elbow, whatever it is. Kinesio tape is a phenomenal way to give yourself kind of like a functional brace. And again, Mike and I could do another video on it. This is a bit much, but we got 4 people, 2 guides, and my brother-in-law and I. And I'd rather be overprepared than unprepared because we're hiking a lot. And so I always bring this to take care of my knees and ankles primarily, but it's got other uses.
It saved my knees this last year big time. Big time.
A lot. You don't know it until you know it, but it's really good stuff. This is gear tape, just for your puffy jacket, sleeping bag, pads, whatever, just some gear tape. Rubber gloves, you just don't know who you're working on. Kind of filthy animals are out there, so you gotta know what they are and glove up if you need to. Some gauze, lightweight blue tweezers, some Band-Aids, antifungal or anti-itch cream. When you need it, you need it. And then again, just you can't be too safe with water. You gotta have water. You can survive and suffer quite a long ways without food, but with water. So we got this filter, my SteriPen, and then these are Aquamir tabs, just in case you need to filter a lot of water, and then Band-Aids. So that's my med kit. It's probably a bit beefier than your average Joe's med kit, but again, when you're true backcountry, and a life flight or whatever is not just a phone call away and a few minute hike or in the car, you got to have things to make either have an enjoyable hunt or to get out safely and get things under control so you can get the help that you need. So I think if there's one place to splurge on a little bit of weight, it's a med kit. I've seen some bad things happen, and it's nice to know you can either help someone else or get yourself out of a bad way, in addition to hitting the SOS button on your inReach, which, speaking of which, I am taking the Garmin inReach Mini 2. Earplugs.
These med kits, I'll add, having a fully functional med kit weighs like a pound.
Yeah.
So have one.
Yeah. It's worth it. I mean, this might be a titch over a pound, but I'll carry that all day. You know, you just never know. So earplugs, I don't like when people that I'm around snore all night, so I bring earplugs. Mike's a snorer, just for the record.
Fun fact.
But you just never know, and I want to get good sleep, and if a bear gets me, that'll wake me up. But I don't want to be awake all night, just every little noise having it worry me. My Possibles pouch, some fire starters. These are Etzbit cubes. Trying some slick sling. We are in grizzly bear country. Wolves, black bears, and so paracord gets hung up on tree branches quite a bit, and so I figured I'd bite the bullet and try some slick line and just see how it does. Apparently it's very strong and it doesn't catch on branches, so we're gonna try some. It does have some reflective cordage in it as well, which is nice because you can see in the dark where your tree is at, the food's in. A lighter. With all my lighters and the trekking poles, right, you just duct tape, you have to have it, right? So I wrap duct tape around my lighters. I love these trioxane tabs. They are the best fire starting things I've ever found. These literally will start with a spark. I have not had the same luck with just about any other product out there. But good burn time, don't use a lot. A little bit of paracord, super glue because America, and it fixes everything. And then I got away from a large Gerber and just packed this little Leatherman now. It's just, you know, little sturdier pliers. Again, I just packed that thing around for years. It's heavy and bulky, and I never used really much of anything on it. So I just transferred over to this little Leatherman. Anything to add, Mike? Oh, nail clippers. I'm weird about my fingernails. So, yeah. Got anything to add, Mike?
No, I'll say the Leatherman is super handy. So
you're a Leatherman guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. You're probably a lot better with it than I am. I just don't get it. So on this trip, I am bringing 80 feet of paracord. I've never used as much paracord as I've brought, but we are just backpack hunting. So every night it's a new camp, new situation. Hopefully we'll get some animals down, so hanging in a bunch of bags. So I'm bringing a little more than I usually would, and we'll see if I need it, but that's just normal paracord. I really like this Peaks headlamp. The biggest thing I like about it is the bright white is very bright, but the bright red is insanely bright red.
Yeah.
The battery life's been amazing on it, and I have beat this thing up really good, and it's held up really well. So the charge is good, but that red light, I'm very impressed with. The only thing is this plastic part back here that attaches the band to the housing. This thing is chintzy, just cheap. I broke one, and I sent them an email, asked if I could just get the new housing. They weren't that big of a hassle, but a little more of a hassle than I would have liked to for a cheap part. But for how much money you spend for these things, you think they maybe upgraded that plastic clip a little bit more. But outside the clip, I gotta say, I'm on the Peaks wagon, at least with the headlamp.
We'll say it's made overseas, and there's one called the Sovereign that's exactly the same, people say, but the Peaks, they do have an upgraded chip in there, so it is a nicer chip. So you're getting brighter LEDs versus like the cheaper version, and way better runtime.
That's what we got, Mike.
I've got a Phoenix that I use. It's the same size, same size battery, same everything, and his runtime will double mine. So, for what that's worth,
yep.
And it's easily twice as bright.
No, I've been happy with it. I have. It's hunting. It's archery. So Allen wrenches. I just use this Work Sharp knife sharpener. And online with that, I am bringing a fillet knife. Everyone I've talked to that deals with moose says you want to have a good sized fillet knife just to work the hide and save your knife. So I made this sheath because apparently the knife only comes with the knife and no sheath. So it's a 6-inch knife. It's a bit much. Some people were saying 8, but I don't know how you could do that and not nick yourself. But so I'm going to give a fillet knife, a boning knife a try, and hopefully we'll catch some fish too. Usually I only bring a silky saw if I'm bringing the hot stove, but again, backcountry, a lot of days, a lot of camps, thick country, so I am bringing the silky saw. It's a 1/2 pound. I've used the Wyoming saw before, and I think the Wyoming saw is about the same weight, maybe a little bit heavier, and I had great success with that. It just, when it gets cold, you're trying to deal with those little wing nuts to tighten it down. You drop them, it gets annoying. This is just flip out, flip in. Use this for trees, skulls, everything, and it's just...
The silky saws are insane. They're by far the best.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time with any other saw.
Yeah, for me, I think it's been awesome. My knife is just the Outdoor Edge. I tried the razor one where it has the, what do they call that blade, just to get the hair, the hide?
Oh yeah, it was the
razor light.
Yeah, open game like a zipper.
A zipper.
Yes.
That's it. So it's got that. It was just a little bigger, a little bulkier, and to be honest with you, I didn't notice that it was that much more efficient to zip that hide than just running a knife. So this is just your standard 3.5 razor light knife, and I'm bringing 6 blades with me, which might be overkill, but bears, moose, it's just kind of a lot. So I just, they're light. So Outdoor Edge, that's my favorite replaceable blade. I keep a small Gerber exchange blade in my vinyl harness just because it's so much smaller. But I bust those things. So that's a last ditch resort for me, but I'd rather have a knife than not. So I keep that in my vinyl harness.
The Outdoor Edge are a lot safer to change too.
Yeah.
You're a lot less likely to cut yourself.
Mike turned me on to Scope Cam adapter. This is the universal adapter. For my binos and for my spotting scope. The spotting scope is just, this was also a Mike suggestion. This is the Maven 1545 by 65.
This thing's
sweet.
It's tiny. It's awesome.
It is. I mean, I got small hands. This thing's tiny. So far, I've liked it quite a bit. I'm not sure I'll be bringing this yet because, again, it's not a lot of elevated country. It's really, really thick, and it's moose, so they're not the hardest things to spot. So I might, but after we get done with hopefully getting a moose down and a bear down, we'll go look for wolves and maybe. So I'm not set on that one yet, but I'd like to. Combat wipes. The crotch rot is real, and if you don't take care of yourself and clean things up, you get some problems. So I try and just bring enough to where it's like I'll have 2 a day, maybe a third. This works out to 2.5 a day. They're light. Some people will open them up and dry them out to save the weight, and when they get in the country, they'll put water on them to rehydrate them. That's fine if that's for you. I'm just maybe too lazy, but just combat wipes. You really want to keep yourself somewhat clean.
If you don't use baby wipes, you're still JV.
Hand warmers. I have about 1 pack for a day. Just cut them in half and 1 a day. They're just hand warmers. This is what I keep my electronics in. So these are just cables, charging cables, my phone, my Garmin Instinct Solar, which I've never had to charge in that short of a time, but if I run the GPS, it'll eat the battery pretty good. My inReach, and I do it all off of just this Anchor power pack. If I'm doing, more than 10 days, I might bring a bigger power pack, but this Anchor, it's 10,000 milliamps. It weighs half a pound, and so far, the only thing I've ever had to recharge is my phone. So I'm not expecting to have to use a lot of it, so it's been a good little charger. Hydration tablets. I am a sweater, so I try and sit up on the hydration. Liquid IVs are expensive, and I am cheap, so I found these little gems on Amazon. They're Nun or Noon, N-U-U-N. Same thing. I don't think any of them really taste good, but it gets you hydrated, gets you the minerals that you need to keep on going. So that's those tablets.
You can get them with caffeine now too, which is kind of cool. So
of course you can. My cook set, MSR reactor. I have a little MSR foldable spork, and this is a Toaks titanium mug. This is 750 milliliters. I was on the jet boil for a long time, but I've had some rough situations where the jet boil wouldn't work, and so after that I thought this is the same weight. Actually, it's a 0.1 ounce lighter than my jet boil.
It's way less bulky,
and it's less bulky, which I like. The MSR burns really fast. I've not noticed that it takes longer, if at all, than a jet boil. But also, if I get in a pinch with the jet boil, I'm kind of toast for water. But this, I can put water in here, put it over a fire, and boil water, and I'm safe. So for me, it's survival / it's the same everything as the jet boil. Just I have one extra function of safety because I can always have water to boil. Scent sticks. I don't know if they work or not, but I'll be hiking around. I sweat a lot. Moose have a phenomenal nose, so I thought maybe I'd pin a natural pine cover scent wafer to my hat to help mask some of the smell. Bringing some bowstring wax. My toilet paper is the blue Mechanics paper because it's more durable than toilet paper. so it can handle water a little better. It's tougher, stronger, and so I usually bring 2 to 3 squares per day that I'm gone, and I fold it up and put it in a plastic baggie so it's waterproof. So that way I'm not in a bad way.
Is that a paper towel roll hacked in thirds?
Yes, it is.
Genius. Genius. Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Best takeaway right there.
The boots I'm bringing, these are, as you can tell, I just waxed them. These are the Hanwag Alaska GTXs. We just put a boot video out, and we talk a lot about those. I love those boots. They've been great. This is a collapsible fishing pole. I'm going to just grab a reel off of my other fishing poles and put it on there. Just bring a handful of spinners. Another pro tip for caffeine is I am a caffeine fanatic, so I put my pre-workout, which is just your C4 pre-workout, but my wife likes these Zip Fizz things, so whenever she gets them, I'll save these and I'll put my pre-workout caffeine in these things so that the bags don't open and the powder spills everywhere. So I keep them in here. I've had a lot of these for quite a while, but I think it was genius because you get packets, right? They'll dry or rip or tear, and then you got powder over your backpack. So I save them in here.
You'd probably be getting about 200% more performance if that was Mountain Ops, but but I guess C4 will cut it, I guess.
The C4 is, I mean, you're looking 50 cents a scoop. I mean, we can't be doing $3 a scoop. And then because I didn't have enough of these, I'm going to bring these Celsius packets, and hopefully they don't explode on me. But I'll put them in a plastic bag as well. I'm a caffeine in the morning and a caffeine in the evening kind of guy. I like single serving peanut butter. It's a lot of calories and it's light. So I'm going to pack some of these. And then I love my trail mix. So those are my snacks. Because we are non-residents of Canada, which we're okay with, you have to have a guide. So this is my first ever guided hunt. So they're providing the food, which is just, I told them to get some dehydrated meals. They could pick whatever. I think we got some Peaks and Mountain Ops. I think they'll kind of taste terrible, but you're in the backcountry, calories are calories. You got to put down the hatch. So I haven't really found a dehydrated meal that I love, but it's pretty good overall. It'll work. It'll do a trick. We get it all, Mike?
I think so.
Oh, this is a great tip, especially for moose hunting. Bring a book. I like to write things down, write down my thoughts, have a little journal, color, whatever. But you got to have something. So I got some stuff in here, but I like to write when I'm out hunting, just track down my thoughts, what I'm thinking. So I do like a journal, chapstick, and I believe that's all we got. Anything we missed, Mike?
I think that's it.
Wait, my bow.
That is important.
Almost done, Case. Just gotta cover the bow and then we're done. She's fine. She's fine.
We got Pepper in the house.
Pepper in the house. So this is the bow I'm bringing. I've had this bow since 2016. This is a Prime Synergy bow. It's been great. Mike has saved me numerous times. I had a nick on my string. We served that up. I had some serving fray down here. So this is the serving that Mike saved the bow with.
It always happens day before you leave,
right? This happened last week, and I leave in 2 days. I got a tight spot quiver. These are 6mm full metal jacket arrows. And then I will be, for moose, using these Q80X's broadheads. And then for bear, I'm going to try some Grim Reaper hybrid broadheads. One thing that I cannot be more excited to try, my buddy gave me this Tacticam, and I showed Mike some footage of it. I shot at 100 yards on my target. This thing is actually phenomenal.
You can see impacts at 100 yards.
You can see it.
Yeah, it's cool.
So as long as you hold that bow steady and send it, it should have great footage. So I'm really excited. It just replaced my stabilizer. It weighs the same as my stabilizer because I usually have a small one. And it's done well. This is a gold tip, 5-pin slider, and now I think we've covered it all.
And you got the keep hammering release, right? No, it's the Spot Hog.
Keep hammering release. No, this is the Spot Hog Wise Guy. I've had this for years. I just really like it.
Best trigger release, in my opinion, on the market.
So. I'm a finger puncher. Judge me all you want. Not a back tension guy. I don't know why, but yeah. and then just drop away rest. So I've had that bow for a long time. I've really been happy with it. It's durable, takes a beating. I'm 3 years into these strings, and I tried to push my luck a little too much, but that's okay. So hope you like it. Leave us some questions if you have anything you want to ask us about, or videos that you want us to cover in the future. And
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Of course.
Okay, good luck on your hunts. Thanks.
See ya.